Welcome back, friends. All right, so in today's video we will be going to the east of Merida, and we're going to be checking out this property that was on sale back in like October of 2024. At least that was when I went to go check it out. I think it's been like it was on the market for a while, but anyway, I went to go check it out sometime in October of 2024. So this property is in the east of Merida, like I said, and it is in a colonia called Manuel Avila Camacho, and it is in a really good location, and I'm going to be explaining why. Now, first of all, when I go check out a property to purchase, not rent, because purchasing, like, you're stuck with it for a while, I usually like to look at a few criteria. So how was my driving experience going there? Now, I used to live in Jesus Carranza, which was super close to this neighborhood, so driving there was super convenient. I also like to look at the roads that I had to drive on to get there. Some roads are terrible, but the roads for me to get to this property was, again, really good condition. And that's because this property is in a really good location, super close to Circuito Colonias, super close to the peripheral, and super close to a general hospital. So, and it is in a working class neighborhood. Also, as you can see here, there is an elementary school right across the streets from this property, meaning that this neighborhood is super safe. Because if there is a public school in this neighborhood, in that particular neighborhood, it means that there will be a security guard present, guarding the school, obviously, but also parents whose kids goes to that school, they have to ensure that they have a neighborhood watch to keep their kids safe while they're in school, on their way to school, on their way back home from school, or just while they're playing on the street. So that particular neighborhood, very good. I have nothing to say against the streets and the house, the street and the neighborhood that the house is located. So now we've entered the property. Now, pardon the realtor, because anybody can be a realtor here in Merida. Hence why, there are different levels of professionalism, because I don't know why she brought her dog with her. And, she had the dog with her the whole time, and I felt bad for the dog because it looked like the dog just wanted to just walk around on its own. Anyway, so this property has 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. 2 bedrooms are downstairs with a bathroom, and the other 2 bedrooms are upstairs with a bathroom. So there's a bedroom right by the entrance that we've already seen there. And yeah, so it has its own window and it faces the street. And then you have the living room, and then you have the kitchen where we're at right now. And again, the kitchen has a window that faces outside, and there is a little walkway, a service walkway. So if you have some technicians who have to come to do some maintenance work on the boiler, on your AC unit, or what have you, you don't want them going through the house, they can go through that tiny walkway. And if you're going to be doing any renovation of this house, it actually has some potential. The reason why I want to go check out the house was that I was thinking that maybe this might be an Airbnb unit whereby I will rent out each bedroom separately. So it has 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. I can just rent it out, by the bedroom, and then just 2 rooms will just share a bathroom, right? Or if you want a house hack, you can live on 1 floor and then rent out the other floor. But the only issue is that you have to go inside the house itself to get upstairs, to get to the 2nd floor. But hey, if you work with a really good architect, they can actually find a way to put a staircase outside somehow, so that you can have two separate entrances, one entrance that goes upstairs, and then the entrance for downstairs. But there is only one kitchen in this house, but hey, there is actually a spot upstairs that you can fit a kitchen, meaning that each floor will have its own kitchen and they don't have to share a kitchen. But anyway, I'm just thinking thinking outside of the box here. Even though this property, I don't think it's available, but this is a case study just so you can see what's out there and what you can do with it. So this property, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. There are 2 bedrooms at the back, but really the other bedroom, you have to go through one room to get to the other room. So the other bedroom could be like a studio. And again, if you hire an architect, they can actually bring down the ceiling where this storage unit is, and that could be the green space. Because an issue that I had with this property then was that it had no green space, it had no backyard with grass and such, garden space, it had nothing. But what you can do is you can actually bring down the roof here, and this area could be the garden area, and the other bedroom there could be a studio, or it could be a 3rd bedroom. But the thing is, they would have to go through outside somehow, to get to it. Or that could be, you could put a staircase that will now take you upstairs, right? And then that will connect to the kitchen upstairs somehow. So you will going up the stairs, it takes you to the kitchen, and then from there you now go to the bedroom. So that's if you are gonna be renting out the rooms on Airbnb, or just to tenant, because this property is actually very close to a general hospital, a big hospital. So moving forward, as you can see, so this is the one room that I was saying. Even though the kitchen, it's facing the kitchen, but you can always block out that ventanas, like the kitchen bar area, so that this could be a bedroom on its own, or that could be a living room, or that could be a games room or something. It depends on how you want to convert it. So the thing about Merida is that many of the houses were customized by the homeowners. So probably maybe the previous owners had 3 kids or 4 kids, and so they decided to create separate rooms for each child. Who knows the reason why this house is built this way? But yeah, but this could be the waiting area, because as you can see, that's the bathroom, and then you have the kitchen, and you have that window there. So it'll take a creative architect to think of ways to maximize that house. So yeah, so that's one thing to also take note of when purchasing a property. Like, how much do you think it might cost you to renovate a property to put it in a state that suits you and that suits your needs? All right, so now we're going upstairs. The staircase to get upstairs, I felt, was very narrow, because with me being small, I felt it was too narrow. Now, can you imagine someone taller? Anyway, so upstairs, like I said, it has 2 separate bedrooms that are actually separate from one another, and it has a shared bathroom. So this one room, it has its own window that actually faces outside, and it's a really good size. So now, one thing about this house that surprised me was the electrical wiring of this house. Now, this house looks like 30 years old, and this house was built with blocks. When you're building a house with blocks, you can actually pass the electrical wires inside the blocks, like the holes in the block. So I don't know why they put the wires outside. Now, houses in Central Merida, you might see wiring like that, because those houses were built with stones. And back then, when they built many of those houses, there was no such thing as electricity, right? So, but when electricity now came on, they now had to go and add it on, right? And obviously, it'll be very expensive and laborious to now have to try to break the walls to fit the wires in. Even though I've seen it done, but the only thing is that it's just much easier to just put the wiring outside. But this property built with blocks, but somehow the wiring were were placed that way. But if you're gonna be renovating and if you're gonna be spending a lot of money renovating the house, then I guess you can rewire the house so that the wires goes inside the blocks. So this one bedroom is the main bedroom, I'm guessing, and it has its own terrace, and you can look out on the streets, you can look at the school, and you can take in fresh breeze and fresh air from the street. So, and I actually like the facade of this property, and that was the reason why I went to go take a look at it, because I was like, wow, this house looks like it's in a really good condition. But the only thing was the layout of the house, how the house was spread out. But pretty much, this house is in a really good condition, but renovation will be determined based on your vision for the house. What do you want to do with the house? Are you going to be living in the house by yourself with your family, and then that way you won't have to do so much renovation? Do you plan to live on one side and then rent out the other side, or do you plan to rent the whole house? Do you plan to rent out the house by the bedroom? That's all up to you. So now we have the one bathroom that's shared with the two bedrooms. So this bathroom is okay. It looks like it's in a good shape. You can renovate. I guess you can fix it up to your taste. That's up to you. So now we have this back area which has the laundry area for the second floor. Now the main floor downstairs has that bodega, the storage area, for the laundry, and also this side has the laundry, and then you have the tinaco which collects water right there. Usually that goes on the roof, but it's in that area somehow. So this area also connects to that the storage area downstairs. So this is what I was saying, that if you want to separate the house, you can probably bring this side, you can demolish this area, and then you can put a staircase that goes upstairs. And then this area could be the living room and the kitchen area for the second floor, right? So the second floor can have its own living room and kitchen, and then the stairs will bring you up on this side. So the stairs can be at the back. It could be escaleras caracoles, spiral stairway, right? Because this house is on a very narrow lot, so there might not be enough space to put a really large staircase. So spiral staircase, and then it'll bring you upstairs to the second floor, and then you have the living room and such. And you can also put like a little terrace on this side, so at least you can get some fresh air, because there's no green space in this area. Or you can still fit in a little bit of green space downstairs, which I explained earlier. So let's quickly go through the specs. So this house, like I said, it's 4 bedrooms and 2 baths, and it's on a 128 square meters land, and construction size is 186 square meters, because it's 2 floors. And the asking price that they were asking for then was 1.68, so 1,680,000 Mexican pesos. I'm gonna put the USD and the Canadian equivalent. So let me know what you think about this house. If you were to purchase this house, what would be your plans for it? And is it in a good area? I'm going to put the screenshot of the neighborhood that it's in. Is it a good price? Let me know what you think about this property. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do click on the subscribe button. And I will see you in the next video. Ciao.